1984 by George Orwell, the book that saw our future coming. By the way, if you stick around to the end of this video, there is a special song that I created just for this book. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get back into the video. Think about the last time you caught yourself wondering if your phone was listening to your conversations. Now, imagine you're talking to your friend about horses. You've never talked about horses before, but then you go on to Facebook or you go on TikTok or X or whatever the case may be, and suddenly there are ads for horses. You've never seen ads for horses before. How did X or Facebook or Twitter, or whatever the case may be, how do they know that you wanted to see information about horses? How do they know that that was something you were suddenly interested in? Because your phone just may be listening to you. It's kind of creepy, right? Now, imagine if that wasn't just paranoia. If every single moment of your life was being watched, recorded, and judged. Welcome to the world of 1984. What's up, book lovers? I'm John, and today we're diving into a novel that's way more than just another dystopian story. This is a book that saw our future coming, and trust me, once you see the parallels to our world today, you'll never look at smart devices the same way again. Some books are just good stories. Others change how we see the world. 1984 somehow manages to do both. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Let me paint you a picture of Oceano, the place where the book takes place. And tell me if anything sounds familiar. Every home has a screen that works two ways. It feeds you information while watching your every move. You got a phone, a computer, got a TV on the wall. Yeah, sound like anything in your house? Our main character, Winston Smith, has what might be the most soul-crushing job ever created. He works at the Ministry of Truth, where, plot twist, his entire job is literally rewriting history to match whatever the government claims is true that particular day. Instagram versus reality has nothing on this level of fact-bending. Here's the thing that makes 1984 so brilliant, and honestly kind of terrifying. Orwell wasn't just making up random dystopian concepts. He was showing us exactly how power and control work, just turned up to 11. And some of his warnings, we're living them right now. And get this, the whole society is built around three slogans that'll make your head spin. 1. War is peace. 2. Freedom is slavery. And number 3, ignorance is strength. Sounds ridiculous, right? But then you start thinking about how often you see contradictions like this in our own world, and suddenly it doesn't seem so far-fetched. Now, I've read my share of dystopian novels, but 1984 hits kind of different. Let me show you why. First, you've got the thought police, and before you roll your eyes at how dramatic that sounds, think about how fast information spreads the moment you say something silly online. Yeah. Not so far-fetched anymore, is it? Then there's Newspeak, the government's attempt to literally control how people think by limiting their vocabulary. It's like if Twitter's character limit was designed to make complex thoughts impossible. Now, if you look at today's society, and you look online and you think, they don't do this, but think of all the new terms that are coming up, the new ways of spinning things that once were bad. They now take it and they twist it just a little bit, and suddenly it's good because they used a different word to describe it. Not too far from what we're doing right now, huh? But let's not give the media any more ideas than they actually have, all right? They already know what they're doing. But what really gets under my skin is how the party breaks people. It's not just through force. It's by making them question everything they know to be true. They tell you 2 + 2 = 5. And the scary part isn't just that you have to agree, it's that eventually you might actually start believing it. Does that sound familiar to anybody out there? I know it does to me. Now, let me tell you about my favorite part of the book. And by favorite, I mean the part that keeps me up at night. It's called doublethink. Imagine being able to believe two completely contradictory things at the same time. Not just pretending to believe them, actually believing both. That's what the party demands of its people. And before you say that's impossible, think about some of the mental gymnastics you've seen people do to justify their political beliefs. Yeah, here's where things really get interesting. Orwell wrote this book in 1948, right after World War II, when he saw how propaganda and totalitarianism could reshape entire nations. But he wasn't just writing about his time, he was writing about human nature itself. And as a quick side note about this, he wrote this in 1948. The way he came up with the title of the book was he actually just transposed the 48 at the end of the year that he wrote it. So 1948 became 1984. Kind of interesting. Now, let's take Winston's relationship with Julia. In a world where love is forbidden, their affair becomes an act of rebellion. But it's not just about romance, it's about holding on to your humanity when everything around you is trying to strip it away. It's about finding something real in a world of lies. And speaking of lies, let's talk about how the party controls information. They don't just censor the news, they literally rewrite history. Any document that contradicts the current narrative gets thrown down the memory hole and replaced with a new version. Sound familiar? Yeah. How many tweets have you seen or posts have you seen that get suddenly deleted and replaced with a new version? Or a website where it posts a news story and suddenly that story has been edited or just disappears completely? Yeah, it doesn't happen, does it? Mm-mm. Now, I'm not saying we live in Oceania, but we're not quite there just yet. But some of Orwell's predictions, they're uncomfortably accurate. Take, for example, mass surveillance. Yeah, check. So we mostly signed up for ours voluntarily. Got a little phone in your pocket? I know I do. Then there's the endless war somewhere far away. Yeah, that's still going on. Manipulation of language control. Just look at how corporate and political language has evolved. DEI ring a bell to anyone? Yeah. The really wild part? Some of the things Orwell imagined as horrible government impositions, we've actually embraced willingly. We carry tracking devices in our pockets, put cameras and microphones in our homes. We share our most private moments online. It really just is mind-boggling. Look, 1984 isn't just a good book. It's a wake-up call. And sure, it's dark, really dark. Especially like Room 101, won't spoil that, but oh my goodness. But that's kind of the point. Orwell wasn't trying to entertain us. He was trying to warn us. I give this book a solid 10 out of 10, not just for the story or the writing, but for how relevant it remains. It's one of those books that changes how you see the world. And once you see it through Orwell's lens, you can't unsee it. So, what do you think? Have you read 1984? Did it change how you look at the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Just remember, Big Brother's watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into 1984, hit that subscribe button for more analysis of books that'll mess with your head. If you want to check out the book for yourself, I've dropped a link in the description. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay human, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that come true. I'm John. This has been Book Summaries, and catch you in the next one.
In a world where shadows loom tall, voices echo in the silent hall, eyes watch from every wall, but through it all we stand unstalled. Truth twisted in a dark disguise, lies are sold as lullabies, but hope still flickers in our eyes. We see through all the thin lies. We rise against the gray, turn the night back into day, break the chains and fly away. No one's taking our hope today. We write our story line by line. In the cracks, our freedom shines against the tide. Though we climb, our spirits fierce, our hearts entwined. We rise against the gray, turn the night back into day, break the chains and fly